This show may contain language and subject matters that are not suitable for a younger audience. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer discretion? This is a podcast. Son of a bitch! Hello and welcome to Weird Careers. I'm your host, E.T. All over the globe, yes, it's round, people get up and go to work. But there are some fun and unusual jobs out there, and I'm here to explore them. Everything from comic book letterers to voice actors and everything in between. So please join me on my journey around the world as I dive deep into these jobs. Please follow me on the socials at Weird Careers Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and the show itself on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and so much more. If you think you have a weird or interesting job, stay tuned to the end of the show and find out how to get a hold of us. On today's episode of Weird Careers, we are joined by Joe, who is a tattoo artist out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you, buddy? Thank you.
No, of course, I'm doing well. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details about tattooing, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, 50. Started tattooing a little late in life. There's 3 kids. Live with my 2 dogs, 2 teenage boys, and an adult daughter. I finished college in '97 with visual creative arts and design. Never went anywhere with that, and just always put art on the back burner just so I can work. Picked up three welding tickets and did that for a while until mental health and physical health kind of stopped me with that. In 2015, diagnosed with some mental health issues, and that's when I decided to really kind of put my foot forward into the art world and expand more on what I wasn't doing when I should have been doing.
Yeah, art, I find, heals a lot. Really helps you ground yourself, get back in touch with yourself. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Tattooing.
Yeah, tattooing. I never actually thought I would do it, but here I am, a few years into it, and actually doing better than I thought I would.
So, how long have you been doing this, and what drew you to being a tattooist?
Okay, long story with that one. I'm gonna go back probably about 20 years now. I've always been artistic. I've always been artistic. Always been creative, visually more than anything. Writing I can do really well with, but for me it was always visual. And I didn't know then that I could hyper focus into my work.
Okay.
Spend hours working on one picture and then look up and go, holy shit, hours. But it was always that artistic side, drawing pictures for people. And then people said, hey, can you do me a tattoo design? Sure. They pay me $20, pay an artist $200. So I kind of started to think, okay, there's a problem here, But then I was always working, like I was working 60 hours plus welding. And it was only when they took me off on disability and I got diagnosed with the mental health. I had so much time on my hands. I pushed more for the art. And my sister, it was fortunate. Like in 2016, I went to a few studios and everybody turned me down because I didn't have, the artwork they wanted. I didn't have the styles they were looking for. And I was like, okay. So it was discouraging. So I put a little on the back burner. And in 2019, my sister was getting a tattoo done from my mentor. And she showed her some of my artwork, said my brother wants to try his hand at this. So 2 weeks later, I went in for the interview and started March 1st, 2019, my apprenticeship. A little late, did it the right way, and it was my art that carried me through, and here I am. So it's been about 4 years now. About 4 years I've been actually sinking ink into skin.
Awesome. So how did you come into your own style? Is it kind of an amalgamation of what you've studied, or is it kind of like your own shtick?
I don't know, really. Like I can't say that I find inspiration in artists because I don't like to feel that I'm comparing my art to them and, oh my God, I look at somebody's art I'm like, oh my God, mine's terrible compared to that. So I've always been kind of doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain styles I do like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Neo-traditional, the thicker lines, the bold, bright, just pow in your face colors.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. New school, not so much. Black and gray. I've always been black and gray on paper. So I'm trying to transition now more into black and gray skin. And I
Nice.
don't want to be I don't want to be caught and known as, hey, that's Joe, he's good at this style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be just one style. I want to be
Yeah.
versatile. So I guess you could say it's more just taking what I've been doing on paper and learning how to apply it to skin.
Mm-hmm.
But also, just watching other people with their techniques more,
Yeah.
how they're blending one way, or how they're moving with their hand from one side to the other, or pulling lines, pushing lines. It was more or less watching that from different people, and it's been helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the art styles. I have my own art style. There's plenty of people that can look at tattoos and go, "Oh, I know that is shit. That's Joe's work."
Yeah, because I've seen different. I was at Inked Circus a couple weeks ago, which is I'm sure you know it's a tattoo convention that travels Ontario,
Yeah.
and there are so many different artist styles, so many different ways that say if I give you an idea, say, hey, I want a weed leaf that kind of has some music notes around it. You take that idea, you take that concept to different people, and you're going to get a different outcome for each and every person you come to.
It's You're right, and it's even true if you were to take that same image. If you came to an artist with an image already pre-made and said, "Hey, this is what I want,"
Mm-hmm.
and then 5 different artists, it'd be the same image, just colored or shaded or filled or lined in different ways.
Okay.
So even something as simple as that, how somebody could take it the same imaging, okay, the same colors, but the way they've applied them.
Okay.
You can distinguish different artists, different styles that way too. I find that actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Jeez, that's kind of cool.
My mentor and I, we can take the same picture, like I said, and do this exact same image, same size, same placement, and you'll be able to tell whose is whose.
That's really cool. Now, there's a lot of bio stuff when it comes to tattooing. Things you need to be careful about, things you need to watch out for, etc. Different things that you have to prepare for or watch out for, or things that you have to explain to everybody. How does that work?
Bodily fluids.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And use needles.
Mm-hmm.
Used needles are always a hazard. Always. You always got to be careful. Always need to be aware of where the end of your machine is, and if it's running or not. You don't want to even just a slight little poke. You don't want to risk doing that. But I don't mean to interrupt the story that I had as soon as you start talking about the exposure to toxins. I'll get into the certifications, but at one point I did have in the same studio working with us another artist. She was working on a gentleman in the lower abdomen, groin area doing a tattoo. The way she was pushing and rubbing and pushing and he ended up pissing himself.
Oh shit!
All over that, all over. So I've seen it happen twice in a studio. People either in too much pain or just the right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
It's not. People always think, well, it's just blood. No. There's saliva. Some people, when they happen to be talking or they get excited or they yell, they have to spit.
Yep.
And yes, we have the goggles we can wear if necessary. The full sleeves, the aprons. If a client is more comfortable with that, or if an artist, it has any need to worry.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that my first year of tattooing, I didn't even bother with a machine and do the needles other than watching.
Okay.
And I went on to the WHO, World Health Organization.
Mm-hmm.
I went onto their site, and they have different CPAC modules that you can do for different cross-contamination, exposure to different diseases, exposure to this, how to clean this. And I made sure that my first year I did all of those. And I made sure I
Okay.
passed every single one of them, including the COVID. And that helped. It helped me kind of with the
Mhm.
understanding, okay, made me a little more aware of like, well, holy shit, it's actually really simple to get kind of cross contamination if you don't wipe the top of your station properly after you're done tattooing or even before you start. So I made it a case in point to be thorough with everything, and any kind of risk is null and void. It can't be 100% because accidents do happen.
Yes,
I've had
absolutely.
I've had no accidents happen. I haven't been pricked by anybody yet. Thank God for that.
Knock on wood.
Right. Because you never know. But we have, even with, like people do lie. We have with our consent forms, people have to let us know whether they have any kind of infections, any
Mhm.
bloodborne diseases. And public health comes in regularly, and
Okay.
they do go over our consent forms to make sure that even us, every time we're doing a tattoo on the consent form, every package for every tattoo that I have, I make sure the client sees right in front of me, hey, this is new. I'm opening it
Awesome.
now. And every one of those little packages, we have to staple to the consent form. So then when
Okay.
public health comes in, they can see, hey, this was dated. And most of them, when you break them open, there's a little color tab that'll change color when the seal's broken. So they can
Mhm.
see, okay, now, this date, this is what they used. So that way public health can be happy on our end.
Mhm.
And they also check over our stations. They check over all our cleaning equipment. They go over all our other health records, sharp spins, make sure everything is all within reach. So yeah, on my end, again, I can't say it's 100% null and void because accidents do happen,
Mhm.
but I've yet to have anybody have any problems or any concerns or any infections or bad reactions from anything I've done.
Mhm.
Anything on that end, it would be, somebody gets a slight infection, their aftercare was up to
Yeah.
par, or an accident happens at home, an animal or a pet gets too close. Anything could happen.
Absolutely.
But as for anything on my end, it hasn't been caused yet. Knock on wood.
Not gonna. Yeah. Right. Famous last words. So how did you? So did you need any like certifications or schooling to get into this, or is it just an apprenticeship?
Um, there is a school in the area. They do uh, they do charge the fees. I think it's a year or 2 years for that course.
Oh, okay. Right
Myself,
on.
for me, honestly, it was my art. My
Yeah.
art happened to carry me through it. Being able to take the constructive criticism and know where you need to grow, and being able to say, okay, I have a lot to learn here. I'm going to watch, I'm going to learn, I'm going to take that criticism and grow from it instead of being resentful almost.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that would probably be one of the greatest credentials, kind of being, being a humble artist.
Yeah.
Schooling, I don't know if schooling would help.
Mhm.
Having a good studio that is willing to take somebody in that has the art skill and be willing to take that chance, like my mentor had done. Um, I was always thinking my art wasn't the greatest, but I found a good studio. They saw the potential. They took that chance, and with the proper guidance, and I don't want to say molding, but
Mhm.
with the proper guidance and kind of ass kicking, if you will. Yeah, being behind me, there's days I was like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah, you can. And my best friend, he's my practice guy. With his help too,
So how
that
did
most
you practice then? Is it just like is it
well,
yeah, how do you practice? Because when you tattoo somebody, it's permanent, and if you fuck up, you fuck up. So where
oh
does the
yeah.
practice come in?
I started out on lemons, believe it or not, with an old beat up old machine somebody had given me. And when I
Okay.
had this machine looked at, I was told, dude, this thing's gonna hit bone. It was going so hard. And I was like, oh shit, I can't use it on people anyways. But welding, it helped with the steady hand. Being an artist always gave me a steady hand. So I practiced on
Yeah.
fruit, lemons, melons. That way you can see if it was too deep. But it got boring for me. And then my best friend of 40 years, God bless, he stepped up, said, dude, even if your art is shit, you can cover it later. And 4.5 years later, he's now up to 88 or 89 tattoos from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's fortunate because everywhere he's placed them so far, the skin is different textures. It's like some areas it's thinner, more there's bone. So it's always learning how to apply the tattoo to different areas because they can't just go in, bang, 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 done. You have to watch, so if you go too deep, you'll get blowouts. So you might make them bleed too much in certain areas. Some areas hurt more. So having a live canvas, it's been a huge, huge benefit for me.
No kidding. Yeah, because fruit can only give you so much feedback, right?
Exactly. And the fake skins, there's no stretch. It's just a flat piece of silicone, holds no ink, holds no pattern. It's useless.
So what was your first tattoo?
In 2020, yes, June of 2020. So when I did my first one, it was the corn, just the word corn for the band, and solid black, and it's on my buddy's wrist. And from there, I was like, cool, okay, I can do this. The ones that I didn't think I could do, he clarified with my mentor, hey, can Joe do this? Yeah, I think he's got the skill. And they both kind of ganged up, said, hey, you're doing this whether you think you can or not. Yeah. So we've gone from that little corn symbol. Now I'm doing full rib pieces and full thigh pieces. And
where's the most awkward place to put a tattoo, like as an artist?
Oh shit.
Like what's the like awkward as in like just in an uncomfortable spot?
Okay, for me, and well, for the client too, having to stretch them certain ways. But for me, having to try and bend somebody or even lay them down to get inside the armpit, inner bicep, that area doesn't stretch well either. So as an artist, it's a little hard to get it a little more stretched and have the client get in a comfortable position. And I'm all twisted. And inner thigh is pretty bad. It can be pretty awkward too.
Yeah, no kidding. How high?
I only go so high on the boxer line. I cut that off.
That's fair. That's fair.
Pain wise, it's hard to say. It's different for everybody. So yeah, awkwardness would probably be like the inner thigh areas, anywhere you got to get close to an area where it's hard to stretch. They're all twisted off. Like it's if the music or the tattoo doesn't hurt you, the music and the positioning will.
the music? Did you say the music?
Yeah, because some of us don't have the greatest taste in the music.
Oh, that's funny.
In my studio, you can hear everything from Frank Sinatra to new R&B to corn to classical, everything there. But
that's hilarious. I love it. Love the diverse music selection. You've got tattoos. Obviously, you're inked up. I can see that. When did you get your first tattoo?
I didn't get mine until I was 18. Living with my folks, even getting my first ear piercing at 16, holy God, let me tell you what, bud. My mother was the kind of person, if you were meant to have tattoos or piercings, God would have had you born with them. Dude, it was rough. The first tattoo, I was dating and I wanted to be badass. And I rolled into a studio in Welland, Ontario. Skin Graphics, it's gone. And the guy that did it on me, I have a tattoo out of his studio from time to time. He's a friend of mine now. And I walked in, and these are the days where you can go in and there's splash everywhere on the wall. So thinking like, I want that one.
Mm-hmm.
Pick some dragon. Pick some dumbass dragon. Not even thinking how many thousands of people have this image. The next year I did the same. I managed to hide the first one for probably 3 weeks. And then my mother come in one morning to wake me up for school and saw it on my shoulder. Lost her ever loving shit. What is this? Freaking out. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, rub it off now? Like, is there? Don't you do it again? Screams and freaks out, tells me I better not do it again. And 6 months later, I went and got my second one, and the same thing in studio. I want that one. So yeah, and now I'm up to 12, I think.
Nice. Right on.
I don't have a whole lot, and I think it's one problem I have is I've done countless. I could say close to at least 1,000 tattoos almost now, and
wow.
I always tattoo. Kind of like the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yep. Always tattooed.
Yep.
I don't, and I won't tattoo myself. I don't have the pain tolerance for that.
Yep.
And the legs, I got some bad veins in my legs. It's about the only place I could tattoo myself. So, okay. When my artist has time, she has to be my colleague and my mentor. She has time, and we can get together. Neither one of us too busy tattooing people. She does the work for me.
Right on. So when you're tattooing somebody, obviously the image needs to look the best that it possibly can. I'm a pretty skinny guy, so my skin's pretty tight on me. So for people that like have looser skin, is there a different way of tattooing that person?
You can give the needle, like the needle depth is usually about 3 millimeters. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can give it just a little more than what you would I usually run it about 2 mil. So okay. Give it a little more. But I find in areas like, for example, where I was mentioning that inside the bicep is harder to stretch. So if you're trying to stretch it this way, you can't. But if you reach around from the side or pull it backwards from the backside, it pulls it a lot tighter.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with some larger people. Unfortunately, they don't have like you said, you're a skinny guy, so you have the tighter muscle. You don't have a whole lot of cushioning.
No.
It is a little harder. You do have to be a little more careful. You just got to give it a little more stretch.
Okay.
You're gonna try, if he doesn't stretch one way, try and get around to the other side, for example, a thigh as well. And you learn how to use your tattooing hand to pull while you're tattooing, and your other hand is stretching as well. So it's not just you put your hand there, draw a line, done.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. It's a process. It's a process. Exactly. It's not as easy as some people think it is.
Interesting. Well, before we dig deeper into tattooing, we're going to take a moment for you to pause, take a pee break, make a coffee, or whatever it is that you need to do. So don't turn that dial. We will be right back.
Hey, this is Joe, and I'm an ink therapist based in St. Catharines, Ontario, and you're listening to Weird Careers with Eric.
Welcome back. We are joined by Joe, who is a tattooist out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Welcome back.
Hey, we're shaking bacon.
Oh, about 140 pounds. Soaking wet.
I tattooed lighter.
I bet you have. So from beginning to end, consultation to aftercare and everything in between, what does the process of getting inked look like?
Okay, I'm gonna try and answer this best I can. Mm-hmm. Usually after I meet, well, a lot of times somebody will just send me an image, say, here, I want this, can you place it here? And if the consultation is necessary, they come in, if we have to resize it, or if they have a custom design they want to come. So from there, after we figure out the placement of it, any colors or any design changes that might be done, after the appointment's booked, the day of, I ask my clients to show up, make sure you had something to eat and drink beforehand. And if they prep the area ahead of time, cool, great. I would rather I do it because sometimes people nick themselves when they're shaving. Mm-hmm. So when they come in for their appointment, what we do first is size the image that we're going to use. Size all that before we even stencil it on them. And then with all the proper antiseptics, clean the area, if say you're on the forearm, anywhere, every little bit of hair needs to be shaved off. Mm-hmm. Any tiny little hair can clog the needle. After that's done, stencil it, wait 10, 15 minutes. Make sure we have the right size first off. And then after it's stenciled, you wait for it to dry, and away we go. And It depends on the size of the needles, how complex the image is, how much color is necessary. It can be anywhere from a half-hour tattoo to I've done up to 6.5 hours.
Oh wow.
So in that time, I try, if clients bring something with them to drink with them, and I usually always have a bowl of Jolly Rancher or something to keep sugar levels up in case somebody gets a little woozy.
Yeah.
You got to stop that smoke. Pretty cool, whatever. And then from there, after everything's said and done, and it's all bandaged up, we go into the aftercare instructions. We're explaining to them the proper method to wash tattoos. Everybody can tell you, I took care of it this way. Wash it this way. Use this. Hey, cool. That worked for them. Listen to your tattooist. I tell all my clients the same thing. I go through all the aftercare instructions to make sure they understand explicitly, so I don't have anything come back on me. And usually, a one session tattoo done in a day, I would say 4 to 6 weeks on average for a tattoo to completely heal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know if maybe that answers the question. That's probably the best way I could say. Yeah,
it does.
The best way I could say.
That's the process. That's exactly what we were looking for. Perfect. All right. So, what does tattooing do for your headspace?
A lot. I've always been my own worst enemy. And I got a tattoo on the back of my arm reminds me of that. And my art, I've always hid it. I've always kept it away from people. And with the mental health, I always second guessed, never felt good enough, always inferior, would never measure up. But now, it took a while to get to the point I am now with my head about the tattooing, where I can say, hey, I'm good at this. I enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to do that in my life. And then with everybody that comes in, for me, yeah, I got that social anxiety, but like I said, I'm controlling the situation. And everybody that comes in, they're coming in with a story as well. So this is where I get to play the ink therapist. And for me, hearing somebody's story, if they have a memorial tattoo, why it means so much to them, or somebody coming in with some wild, zany idea that they think is all fucked up, and their family think is all fucked up, but they want to do it anyways. And then if I can nail those tattoos, and afterwards I see their reaction, holy shit, I nailed this. Whether it be tears because I hit a memorial tattoo, somebody's going, dude, you nailed that. I'm coming back. It helps me. It kind of helps put me in a good space because I'm focusing on that one thing for that one moment. Somebody's coming in and giving me that little bit of trust to walk out with part of me in their life after sharing that little bit of their life with me. So for me, it helps with the ADHD into the focus and brings my anxiety levels down.
Yeah.
It's like you can help them with their anxieties too. It's a great feeling, man. And for me, it's kind of helped with my confidence because I started out more or less challenging myself to see if I can actually do it, see if I can do good enough. And well, here I am now. I'm calling a second artist in 2 artist studio. So it's brought the confidence way up. And like I said, every tattoo that I do, it's always something different. It's a different story with a different person. Even if it's a repeat client, it's always something different. So for the headspace, yeah, man, it's nice. It's a nice feeling. It puts me in a good spot in my head.
That's awesome. I love that. It's kind of like a mental health therapy circle.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I get to, as I said, play ink therapist.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
What's the best thing about being a tattooist?
Probably that is the people.
Yeah.
Sure, money's on it. I make more money with
of course.
On a good day, I can make more tattooing than I did in a week welding.
Wow.
But yeah, for me, it's not that. It's the people.
Yeah.
It's the trust that somebody gives me to come in. It put them and mark them permanently, and send them on their way, or they can see their friends go, look, this guy nailed this. Or every time they look down at the memorial tattoo for their mom, I know that they're always they're going to smile. They're going to think about that person. So for me, knowing that somebody gave me that little bit of trust, and I didn't let that trust down. And every tattoo that I do just pushes me to do the next one better.
Hmm.
I think that would, to me, would probably be the best thing. You know, is the way it kind of impacts people
Yeah.
and the reactions it has on them and how they are in their lives afterwards. And it's nice.
It's beautiful, man. I love that. Now,
Oh,
there's two sides to
yeah.
every coin, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. I was waiting for this one. Uh,
So, what are the downsides?
I was actually thinking, I was talking to my boy about it today. Downsides. Where do you want me to start? Getting messages at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from clients. And I don't like to give my personal number out to people because I know it's going to be a constant. Hey, how much for this? Hey, tattoo this. Hey,
Hmm.
do this. Um, some days with the ADHD, I have a hard time focusing the art, so I slack a little bit and take a little longer to get out. Some of the
Hmm.
worst things, people try to swindle you.
Oh.
Even like, yeah, friends and family. Oh, hey man, you can give me a deal on this, and I can go get this cheaper. Try and talk you down, get as low as they
Oh,
can.
jeez.
Hey, I've known you this long, and are you sure that you're going to charge me that much? And really, it's going to be that much. I get that. It's a comical annoyance. You go, I go with my buddies to a bar one night or whatever, drink. I just want to go kick back and have a few drinks and enjoy my night. And word gets around that, hey, this guy's a tattooist. One of my buddies are talking to him after a few drinks, and hey, you do tattoos? How much for this? I want to cover this, and this is my idea. And then I spend the night at the bar listening to drunk people yammer in my ear about the tattoos they
Hmm.
want to get done and will never get done, or how much for this, and my body's a tattooist, and look at this. That's probably one of the worst. Yeah,
Yeah, no kidding. It really infringes on your personal life.
exactly. Sometimes just the annoyance is just, yeah, what people, as soon as they hear you're a tattooist, they think you can work miracles and cover some stuff up. Yeah, but yeah, I think those are probably two of the worst things.
Jeez. Yeah, that's understandable. As an artist myself, I did professional photography for many, many years. So it would be like, hey, I really want these pictures done. Could you do them for free? And it's like, no, this is my living.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to go to your job and say, hey, can you do this for me? I'm not going to go to and basically take food off your plate.
No,
So don't
exactly.
do it to me. Don't take food. This is how I put food on my plate. This is how I pay for my kids. You know, and the
Hmm.
supplies themselves are expensive enough as it is.
Oh, exactly.
I'm making a case in point that I come from low income. I'm on ODSP myself, so I know what it's like when people want to keep budget low. So I've made a
Hmm.
case in point to say, hey, I'm going to try and keep my costs low, but I still got most of the fee. But I was going to say, I also do kind of the barter thing. I've got a
Hmm.
commodity that a lot of people want. So hey, if you have something that I need, you want to swap? Cool. And kind of help
Exactly.
do it. Nobody's swindling. But yeah, the worst things are people, trying to swindle the cheap free tattoos out of you, or when you're going out and you're just people just infringing on your privacy, like you said, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you have any tips or advice for anyone wanting to get into tattooing?
Yes. Don't be somebody that'll buy a machine and start tattooing right away because you watched a YouTube video and all your friends, hey, your tattoos are awesome. Your tattoo skills great. I fix a lot of those tattoos. I
Mm.
cover a lot of those tattoos. If you want to get into tattooing, first off, have a good, solid art base to build off of.
Hmm.
If you can't draw or you can't perceive colors, then chances are you're probably not going to go very far.
Hmm.
Have a good art base. Be able to take the constructive criticism and find a studio that's willing to take you on as an apprentice. And no matter what, take the criticism. Take the shit days with the good days. And eventually, if you keep pushing through it, you're going to get it. How, like, the question you got to ask yourself is, how bad do you want it? I had my shitty apprentice days, man. I tell you, I didn't want to go in, but I kept doing it. I wanted to start tattooing right away, but no, make sure you do it right. They learn from somebody who can teach you, so there's no risk of any infections. There's no risk of hurting anybody, scarring, any bad experiences. want people to continue to come back, learn how to do it.
Do you recommend people take that 1 to 2 year course that you were mentioning earlier?
I'm going to stay like the Swiss on this one, a neutral, bud. only because I know loosely a couple of people that have gone there and tattoo family members, not of mine, but their family members that I know, and I haven't heard anything terrible about it either. So
Mhm.
I can't really say.
Okay.
Yeah, on that one, if you want to spend the money for it, cool, give her. When you're in a class with a bunch of people all doing the same thing. If you want the real experience, see if you can find a studio. See if you can find a studio that's willing to take in an apprentice and put you through the ringer for the first little bit. But it's worth it in the end. It really is.
Right on. Right on. So we're going to get into a new segment of the show. It's called Listener Cues. So we've got people who listen to the show who have questions for our guests. So our first one is from Miranda, and she is from Stratford, Canada. And she asks, what's the most common tattoo that you do?
Common. Are you talking style or design? Style wise, lately I've been doing a lot of it. A lot of people coming into more women. Black and gray flowers. Black and gray
Okay.
flowers are black and gray flowers are butterflies. I've done quite a few of them. So I don't mind. I don't
Mhm.
mind. As for guys, I've done quite a few skulls. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. I know everybody's like, oh, well, skulls and butterflies. Yeah, it, they are common tattoos on a lot of people. Um, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other tattoos out there that say the same thing. Butterflies and skulls. Style wise, probably more just a lot of neo traditional, and black and gray. Those are probably the
Mhm.
two most common styles that I've had to do.
Right on. Right on. Our next listener Q, Kat from Ajax, Canada, asks if you could tattoo one person, living or dead, who would it be and why? And what do you think they would get?
Okay, I put a lot of time like thinking about this question because I read it up. I was
Hmm.
thinking about something. I don't really follow fan. Like I'm not somebody who's a diehard fan, follow a musician, or whatever.
Hmm.
So I don't really put a lot of thought into that. But for this one, I did, and the answer hit me last night. I'm an avid gamer. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hmm.
The creator of Dungeons and Dragons, Gary Gygax, he's passed.
Hmm.
Um, but all the years I spent gaming because of his creations, it gives me a lot of good memories, man. And I still play. So if I had to tattoo anybody dead, I would say Gary Gygax.
Okay.
And what do I think he would get? Probably some big badass dragon back piece from one of the dragons in the game that he's created, and it's touched
Yeah,
millions of people worldwide, man. Yeah, that would probably be my answer for that one.
I love that. That's dope. All right. Our last listener Q is Steve from London, Canada. And he asks, what's the weirdest tattoo request you've ever gotten?
Believe it or not, and I actually did it. It was in my second year. There was one of the senior artists. He was tattooing a cockatiel in memorial on some girl's leg, and her mother was waiting inside, and her mother wanted the tattoo. I said, okay. Well, the cockatiel used to land on mom's shoulder, grandma's shoulder, and
Hmm.
shit all the time on her shoulder. So there's a lady walking around with a tattoo of bird shit on the back of her left shoulder.
Ah.
Dude, that's probably the weirdest thing that I've ever had to tattoo and research to see what it looked like if I got the colors right was bird shit.
That's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, man, that's probably the weirdest one.
That's hilarious. All right, well, Joe, before we wrap things up, I do want to say thank you before we get into our last little cue here. This has been great, learning about tattooing and just the process and everything. So, thank you so much. It's
Man,
this has been great.
good to talk to you again. Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to see
thanks,
you again,
man.
buddy.
We asked this question to everybody who's been on the show. Everybody from Kevin Clash Elmo to the basis for Mariana's Trench. We've asked everybody in between, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Archaeologist.
Really?
I always wanted to be an art history. Anything that was old historical to learn where we came from, what put us to where we are now. A lot of it was done through artistic interpretation. Wow. You know, carving, sculptures, paintings, see all those. And that's what I've always wanted to do. Go and find old treasures and dig them up. And yeah.
That's so cool. And now you're tattooing.
I became a welder, and now I'm a tattooist. Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. We've gone all over the place here.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, Joe, for coming onto the show and teaching us all about tattooing. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, do you think that you've got a cool or interesting job? Maybe you do. Your 9 to 5 could be a lot more interesting than you think it could be. Or maybe your neighbors or your cousins or your best friends or your weed dealers. Okay, maybe not that last one. But if you think you've got a cool or interesting job, shoot us an email at weirdcareerspodcast@gmail.com. Liked what you heard? Make sure to give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to us. It really helps us to get seen. Thanks for listening, and until next time, I'm E.T. Cheers.